Yep.
We know what it is. Millions of women worldwide.
4.1 million by the best guesses.
4.1 million, as far as I know, besides like one random lady's hair being like burnt on fire. Not like fully. I think somebody just like lit it really.
Yeah.
It was 100% peaceful.
Four people
which is nice.
got arrested.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
it. Nobody in Washington, D.C., New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, or San Francisco got arrested. But across the nation, only 4 did.
So what's 4 out of 4 million? Like point. I don't even want to. It's ridiculously small.
It's 0.0. I mean,
Yeah.
to put all the zeros in million before the 4, and it's point that.
right. So extremely peaceful. What's your impression here?
I thought it was awesome. 100%. Now, a lot of people were saying, like, okay, so you marched the first day after the inauguration. Like, he didn't even do anything yet. He didn't have a chance to prove himself or make a stance or say what he thinks.
I didn't think of that, but that is a good point.
So a lot of people were saying, like, okay, why did you get together then before he even got a chance to make his claim, if you will? What I took it as is more of like a, hey, listen, we're here. We're not to be forgotten about. We're not to be trifled with.
Right.
There's a problem in this nation that needs to be addressed, and we want to make it clear that you need to address it.
All right. See, this is where I'm going to stop and ask you, what problem?
Okay.
What is the problem that needs to be addressed? Here's the thing. I think it should have been a Women Against Donald Trump march, not just a women's march.
I disagree.
Because, well, for a lot of reasons. First off, even on like Wikipedia, if you just like look it up, it was an quote anti-Donald Trump protest, and it's being framed as a protest for equal rights.
Well,
and I have yet to see any evidence of how that is the case.
They were supporting a multitude of different ideas, such as equal rights for women, sexual reproductive rights.
Okay, well, first, do they not have equal rights?
It's in some places you would argue that they don't. I mean,
in America, they're protesting Donald Trump. In America, do these women not have equal rights? Under the law.
Under the law, yeah. But
well, what is he in control? He's the top executive in control.
He wants to defund Planned Parenthood. That is, well, okay. Here, look at this. You say under the law we're equal, right? Men and women are equal, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can get Viagra as a man.
Yes.
Right? You're a man.
Mm-hmm.
Say your dick doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
You want Viagra.
Terrible nightmares, yes.
Listen. So taxes subsidize that.
Okay.
They don't subsidize. Well, under Planned Parenthood, you can get birth control from them under a taxpayer-funded, Planned Parenthood. You have Medicaid, you go to Planned Parenthood, you get birth control.
Right.
If they defund that, these people with Medicaid don't have subsidized birth control anymore.
Okay.
So why are we allowed to?
First off, I think you had me on one side because with the Viagra, that makes sense because tampons and whatnot, stuff that is beyond women's control is still being taxed while Rogaine for men isn't taxed. Okay. That's a fair point, and I 100% agree. If the stupid Rogaine isn't taxed, why the heck are tampons being taxed?
Right. Okay.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. So
under any level.
However, you say there's inequality there? I mean, it's a very specific example, but
yes, that is the tiny minutia that needs to be cross the T, dot the I on equality with that.
Okay.
That 100% needs to be fixed. And anything like that you show me, I will agree, needs to be fixed.
Yeah, anything reasonable. And there's definitely other examples, but obviously I'm a man.
Right.
You're a man.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the same problems.
No,
we don't experience the same things. Just from research, that's one example that I found.
But both men and women pay for birth control. Nobody's trying to get free condoms from the government.
I mean, Planned Parenthood gives out condoms.
And they shouldn't. That's my point.
Well, it's more of an awareness thing. Why not?
It should be equal both sides, obviously.
Right.
And I would feel weird under no matter what, knowing that my taxes were going to condoms.
Why?
Or birth control.
Why?
It doesn't matter what the actual thing is. It's what can you allow the government to force you to pay for. And when it comes to Planned Parenthood especially, and this is pro-choice, pro-life, 100% being put aside, whatever we believe.
Oh, yeah.
All of this being put aside, it's still split 50-50 among women, whether they're pro-life or pro-choice.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That doesn't make. How then is it a women's right? If half of all women think it should be illegal in the first place.
Abortion illegal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, federal funding doesn't go towards abortion now. It never has.
Okay.
But that's. Can we put a pin in that for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Just because I want to go back to how. So Planned Parenthood offers a multitude of different services. Put abortion aside just for a second. I have the list. I might as well not try to remember it. I might as well just read it.
Okay.
Anemia testing, cholesterol screening, diabetes screening, flu vaccines, help with quitting smoking, tetanus vaccines. Now, that has nothing to do with reproductive rights.
Okay.
But then they also have, of course, they provide birth control, mammograms, STD screening, pap smear, stuff like that. A lot of these services are geared toward women.
Okay.
Because they just require different services than we do as men. We can go to a regular doctor's office and they will most likely be equipped with whatever we need. As for a woman who may be on Title X or Medicaid, they go to Planned Parenthood for those specific services. Okay? So if it gets defunded, they won't have access to that care anymore. So the reason it's...
Okay, see, I don't have a problem with any of that stuff.
Yeah, but that's a big reason they don't want... he's kind of said he was going to do it.
But my question is, can they get what they absolutely cannot get under their insurance plan at their regular doctor's office? If they have the insurance, doesn't that mean that they can go to the doctor's office and get that stuff? Because I don't know the exact facts on this.
Right.
But I'll throw a link down to the video/article.
Yeah.
But these people surveyed about, I think it was like 94 or 95 different Planned Parenthoods, and only 2 of them that they called, and they have the voice messages, like they play back the voice messages, like the phone calls. Only 2 of the ones that they called did anything other than just simply provide abortions.
That's not true. I saw that video.
It's not true.
It's not true. Hold on. So, I saw the video. It was a series of voice recordings, like you said. Mm-hmm. They called and they were asking for prenatal care.
Yes.
Like, oh, hey, do you have prenatal care?
Mm-hmm.
And they would say, no, we kind of focus on abortions here, or whatever it was.
Right.
Or we only do abortions, or you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, actually, and they took some voice clips from, like, people who run Planned Parenthood out of context saying, like, they do provide prenatal care. Some locations do provide prenatal care, but it's the minority. So, they really don't... They really don't claim to provide prenatal care either. Yeah, they do. I guess you could say specialize in abortion, since when you think, okay, I'm a woman, I'm pregnant, where do I get an abortion?
Right.
Planned Parenthood. It's not federally funded though. Only 3% of their budget goes to abortions. So the 97% is all these other services I was talking about.
Right.
So while yes, if it will, like I said, it was taken out of context, but. If that's something they're working toward, then fine. But they haven't really claimed to.
Oh, you see, I was under the impression that was like
care.
their main claim.
No,
like, I thought that was their claim, and abortion was like the backdrop.
No, so in which case that would be dishonest, and I would agree with you. But abortion.
No, that's fair then.
That you go on their site, the first thing is like, do you have questions about abortion? Mm-hmm. I mean, it definitely is what they're focusing on, because that's the only thing. That's the only place that they can kind of go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, 97% of their budget goes towards all these other great care, services. And a lot of people on Title X or Medicaid. So actually, I have a cool infographic. We can throw that up in the links too. But you have Medicaid, and then they go to get their care, and then it gets sent over to the federal government, and they get Planned Parenthood gets reimbursed. So right now, if you wanted to get an abortion,
right.
So that's why I said they're not cutting a blank check, because they can't use federal funds to talk about or distribute information about abortion, and they can't use federal funds to perform the abortion either. If I go get an abortion, if I was a woman, I'd have to give them $1,500, however much.
Right.
I don't know how much they're going for right now. I mean. So right now, no taxpayer contributes to the performance of abortions in this country.
So then what's the anger?
Whose anger?
I guess conservatives' anger then.
Because they know that it's done there. I mean, I'm not a conservative. I don't really know where, but I mean, morally, it's wrong for them.
Right. Yeah. No, I get their argument against abortion in the first place.
Yeah. But why are they against Planned Parenthood?
Right.
I guess because they provide it. Maybe they're misinformed. They think federal funds goes to it.
Well,
or
that's what I thought.
I get, yeah, but it doesn't. So I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is that.
I mean, it's not even really an argument. The only thing I could say is they're defunding it because this is a place that does something that we believe should be illegal. If all these other procedures can happen at like a doctor's office, then why are you so angry about this? And did you really need 4 million women to march for this? Because that is what we're talking about originally.
Yeah.
Is what
exactly? Back to the Women's March.
Right. And dude, I said this at the outset. I'm gonna say it again. I was inspired by the Women's March. I think it's incredible that many people got together all around the world, no violence, under a message. I just still don't really know exactly what it was they were marching for, except being against Donald Trump in general. And I have a problem calling it a women's march in that case, because now you're saying if you're a woman, you need to be against Donald Trump. And that is borderline sexist in its own right, because now you're telling women that they should feel less than because they don't support the same political beliefs as you, that a real woman would be against Donald Trump.
But conservatives that voted for Trump were part of the Women's March.
Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I have a link right now, but while it was going on, there were many like interviews like I am a conservative woman who voted for Donald Trump, and I am participating in the Women's March. So I mean, for women's equality, women's rights that they don't or that they think are in danger, such as defunding, like that's a big example. That's a large part of it. So obviously, the left were the majority.
Right.
100%. But it wasn't only like liberal women. And it wasn't only women either. It was a lot of men as well.
There were a lot of guys.
A lot of anybody who wanted to go, who thought that the message needed to be sent. And I disagree that it was anti-Trump. I think maybe some people did go because they felt anti-Trump, and maybe they did a sign that was like "fuck Trump." I don't know. I do know there was definitely people who were there for that.
Yeah.
But if you look at their website, their website of course could say one thing and they could mean another, but they have a list of like principles that like they're called unity principles that they're fighting for. So ending violence, reproductive rights, LGBTQ rights, workers' rights, civil rights, disability rights, immigrant rights, environmental justice. So they're encompassing in this whole equality outset, I guess you could say, like all the other things that people are worried about with this new administration. It wasn't.
So pretty much, it was. We're afraid that these things might happen. Please don't let them happen.
That's how I took it. Like I said, like a stand. The day after he's inaugurated. Listen, we know what you're about. We've seen you talk in the news for the past year and a half. We know that conservatives don't like the stuff we like.
Yes.
For the most part. So we're here to just.
There's.
Yeah.
Liberals and conservatives.
But like you said, you can't paint with a broad brush ever. And like I said before, there were conservative people who participated in the march.
If this is the case, which I'm assuming it is, because it makes sense, because I think it's clear that there was no absolute one main thing.
Oh, I think so too. I think it was a lot of things.
But they could have been clearer in even what exactly it was, like separately. And that's not even how it's been framed when a lot of other people talk about it. It's always framed as, if you believe in equal rights, that's what the Women's March is for. And
it's definitely a big part of it. I wouldn't argue with that.
But I don't think anybody's equal rights are actually under attack. That's my point. I don't think that women are unequal in America today.
I do.